जयधारी माँ। हर जीवन अनेक प्रकार के रंगों से भरा हुआ है। बातचीत वही रंग बांटेगी आप सबके साथ। हम सब एक हैं, बस सोच अलग अलग है। बटोर लीजिए उन रंगों को जो भी आप चाहें इस बातचीत से, और ढाल लीजिए अपनी सोच में। यही मकसद है इस बातचीत का। आइए मिलते हैं अपने प्यारे से मेहमान से। अतिथि देवो भव। जयधारी माँ। जयधारी माँ। जयधारेश्वर महादेव। हमारी ऑडियंसेस का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आइए जुड़िए। बहुत सुनहरा प्यारा सा बातचीत है। आप सबका स्वागत है। आज के हमारे अतिथि हैं अमीश त्रिपाठी जी। His journey has been about reaching Lord Shiva's Sharan. And I'm taking the liberty of saying this कि उन्होंने अपने अध्ययन के द्वारा, अपनी लिखावट के द्वारा खुद को भी पाया है। He has also discovered the voice of his soul. वो कहते हैं कि मैं 100 पन्ने पढ़ता हूँ और फिर एक पन्ना लिखता हूँ। उनकी कॉलिंग, उनका पर्पस है हमारी संस्कृति, हमारे स्क्रिप्चर्स को आप तक पहुंचाया जाए। एंड वो इसी अध्ययन में लगे रहते हैं, इसी कोशिश में लगे रहते हैं। एंड उनकी जो ये कोशिश है, उनका जो अध्ययन है, उनका जो प्रयास है, इट्स ब्लेस्ड बाय द डिवाइन। उनको मिलने से पहले आइए उन पर एक वीडियो देखते हैं। आइए।
Oh, beautiful.
Namaste.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you.
Amish.
ये
वेलकम।
नमस्ते डॉक्टर किरण, नमस्ते सेना जी। वो आपको वो फोटोग्राफ्स कहाँ से मिले? I mean, there are some photos even I haven't seen in a long time.
We have a very lovely, blessed demonstrative learning team. वो खोज लिए उनको खोज लिए जी जी। हम ही शुरू करें जी।
Yes, बेटा।
जी
अमीश, जैसे जैसे पता चलता जाए लोगों को कि अमीश will be our next guest on the Baatcheet.
जी
They said, ma'am, these are some of his books they've all been searching for, and that's how you made the millions of copies. They all wanted to get into the recesses of your soul. Said, ma'am, हमें बताओ वो है कौन? Who is Amish? What is behind him? What is within his soul? What is inspiring him? Because they feel that you are spiritually blessed. You've been spiritually touched. Something has happened within you that is making these miracles come. So you within, the spirit within, and of course the family behind you, the mother's blessings, the love of your immediate family, the brother, your twin brother, your sister. I mean, this is brilliant. Your sister-in-law and the rest of the family, just great. You were really blessed. People wanted to know that, and that's what this program is about. It's about your books. I've seen all of them, and these are few of them. But it's about you as a person. What happened? So Saina will explore more with you because Saina has researched and researched you. Saina happens to be my daughter, Amish.
I
So
know.
she will. This Baatcheet is her creation, her innovation, her idea, her vision, and you've been identified by her. So I'm also sitting back and listening to you, you as a person who unfolds the soul, takes us into the recesses of your soul. Go ahead, Saina, please. Thank you. I'm
Thank
with
you.
you.
Thank you so
जी
much, Dr. Kiran ji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
जी
I have, Sana ji, before you begin, if I can say, I have been a fan of Dr. Kiran ji from a very young age. You know, my family, there have been family members who been in the IPS. My brother-in-law was an IPS officer, and Kiran ji, we've all looked up to what you have achieved, what you mean for Indian women and for our approach to feminism. You know, this our ancient culture was very respectful towards women, and we've forgotten a lot of it. And Dr. Kiranji, what the role model that you put up is so important for our culture and for the revival of our culture. Thank you so much for all that you are and all that you do for our motherland.
Thank you that you've given us time for this event. There's plenty we're going to all learn listening to you.
अमीश जी, आप इतना अध्ययन करते हैं,
जी
आप इतना पढ़ते हैं शास्त्रों के बारे में, जीवन का अर्थ मिला क्या?
सरा जी, देखिए कहते हैं कि जीवन का अर्थ एक तरह से एक खोज है, और जब खोज समाप्त हो जाए तो हमारी संस्कृति हमारी सभ्यता में तो ये कहते हैं कि तब इंसान की आत्मा को मोक्ष प्राप्त हो जाती है, निर्वाण मिल जाता है। और हमें किसी को भी अभी तक जो यहाँ पे हैं, हमें तो ये सत्य नहीं मिला है, और इसका सबूत क्या है कि हम अभी भी यहीं पे हैं। क्योंकि अगर सत्य मिल गया होता तो हमें मोक्ष मिल गया होता, हम शिव जी से एक हो गए होते। लेकिन अभी तक यहाँ पे हैं तो मतलब खोज जारी है।
तो जीवन का अर्थ हुआ अर्थ को ही खोजना।
देखिए, आई थिंक ये सदगुरु जी ने बड़े सुंदर तरीके से कहा था कि हमारी जो संस्कृति है, इसमें विश्वास से ज़्यादा खोज को ज़्यादा महत्व दिया जाता है। वी आर सीकर्स रादर देन बिलीवर्स। तो ऐसा नहीं कि विश्वास को नकारा जाता है या उसकी इज्जत नहीं की जाती, लेकिन चेष्टा या प्रयास हरदम ये रहता है कि अपने पथ को खुद समझ के आगे बढ़ा जाए। तो हमारे जो गुरु होते हैं, हमारे जो भगवान होते हैं, वो एक तरह से मार्गदर्शक हैं, लेकिन चलना तो हमें, और हमें तय, क्योंकि कई मार्ग होते हैं। तो हमें तय करना है अपना विवेक इस्तेमाल करके कि हमारे लिए सही मार्ग कौन-सा है। और आप अगर इस नज़रिए से देखें तो हमारी जो कहानियाँ भी जो हैं रामायण, महाभारत, पुराण जो मतलब एक तरह से क्योंकि देखिए हमारी जो संस्कृति है वो सिर्फ़ एक पुस्तक की संस्कृति नहीं है, पूरी लाइब्रेरी है, पूरा भंडार है। और बहुत कम इंसान होंगे जो इस पूरे भंडार को समझ पाएँ। एक आदि शंकराचार्य जी होंगे, गौतम बुद्ध होंगे, बहुत ही कम होंगे, जो इसे समझ पाएँ। हमें इन पुस्तकों के भंडार में से अपना एक रास्ता नापना है कि कौन सी पुस्तक हम पढ़ेंगे, कौन से मार्ग पर हम चलेंगे, कौन सी भक्ति का जैसे मैं शिवपंथी हूँ लेकिन हमें कभी ये नहीं कहते हैं कि भाई ये पंथ सही है और ये पंथ गलत है। हमें वो बचपना नहीं है। भाई हर पंथ जब तक आप अपने पंथ को किसी और के ऊपर नहीं झोंक रहे हैं, तो हर पंथ को हक है अपना अपना रास्ता खुद ढूँढने का। तो हमारा नज़रिया ये होता है कि वी हैव टू कीप डिस्कवरिंग आवर ओन पाथ। बट द की थिंग इज़ विवेक होना चाहिए। क्योंकि हम में ऐसा नहीं होता है कि ये 10 कानून हैं, आप बस इसे मानिए, अपना दिमाग इस्तेमाल मत करिए। हमें हरदम जैसे भगवान श्री कृष्ण में भी भगवद गीता में जो कहा था 18वें अध्याय में कि आई हैव जो उन्होंने अर्जुन को कहा कि आई हैव गिवन यू नॉलेज मोस्ट प्रोफाउंड। अब आप खुद अपना दिमाग इस्तेमाल करिए। मैं अनुवाद कर रहा हूँ। आप खुद अपना दिमाग इस्तेमाल करिए, खुद अपने विवेक का इस्तेमाल करिए और ये तय कीजिए कि आपके लिए सही क्या है। तो भगवान भी हमें कह रहे हैं, देखो आई हैव लेड आउट द फिलॉसफीज इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू। अभी आप सोच के खुद निर्णय लीजिए कि आपको क्या करना है और जो भी फल होगा इसका, जो भी परिणाम होगा उसे विनम्रता से स्वीकार करिए। क्योंकि कभी कभार आप जो भी कर्म करते हैं, कभी कभार परिणाम अच्छा होता है, कभी कभार अच्छा नहीं होता है। अब जो भी है, मैंने कर्म किया है तो मुझे भुगतना है।
Are we also talking about discovering our own Swadharma?
Absolutely, Saina ji. And I think a key part of our life is to find our own Swadharma. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said very beautifully, Chaturvanyam maya shrustam guna karma vibhagashah, कि उन्होंने 4 वर्ण बनाए थे गुण और कर्म के आधार पर। जन्म का कहीं नामो निशान, उन्होंने जन्म की व्याख्या नहीं की। जन्म के बारे में ही डिडंट से इट्स बेस्ड ऑन बर्थ। तो मतलब हमें वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर आवर एट्रीब्यूट्स एंड व्हाट इज आवर कर्मा, एंड दैट विल डिफाइन आवर स्वधर्मा फॉर अस। तो we could be born, there are some things we inherit from our parents, but primarily what we discover for ourselves. And if we can find balance between what our natural attributes are, is when we'll find life is positive for us. You will find, देखिए माँ बाप एक ही हैं, हम लोग 4 भाई बहन हैं, but we are all 4 of us are very different. We have taken different paths. We love each other very deeply, but all 4 of us are different. Same father, same mother, right? Why? Because all 4 of us have our own Swadharma and we have to discover it. It's our job to discover our Swadharma. And you will find, आप देखेंगे कि कई लोग ऐसे हैं, मतलब बाहर से ऐसा दिखता है कि भाई भगवान ने तो उन्हें सब कुछ दे दिया है, फिर भी खुशी नहीं मिलती उन्हें। और कुछ लोग आप बाहर से तो देखेगा कि भाई इनके पास तो कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन चेहरे पे आनंद मिलता है। तो वाई? बिकॉज एक्चुअली if you discover your swadharma and then you live in accordance with it, you will find that you have peace. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आपको आजीवन सिर्फ खुशी मिलेगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है। Even if you're living in consonance with your swadharma, दुख भी तो मिलेगा भाई। खुशी और दुख हर किसी के झोली में लिखा तो है। Everyone gets his or her share of it. कोई जैसे गौतम बुद्ध ने जो कहा था, when a woman had come crying to him कि मेरा बच्चा मर गया है, उसे जीवित करिए। एंड गौतम बुद्ध ने कहा कि पूरे शहर में घूमिए, एक भी घर ऐसा ढूंढिए जहाँ कभी भी मौत नहीं हुई हो, और आप वापस आ जाइए, मैं आपके बच्चे को जीवित कर दूंगा। माँ बेचारी घूमती रही पूरे शहर, एक भी घर ऐसा नहीं मिला, क्योंकि हर देखिए, हर घर में खुशी मिलेगी, दुख मिलेगा, मृत्यु मिलेगी। This is a part of life. But when we are living in alignment with our Swadharma, we can handle what life throws at us. Uh, that is the biggest strength. It's not ki bhai you will be happy all your life, because often you'll find that many who are happy because they're not really living life. They're just living in la la land. Uh, but if you can have the same sense of balance when you're passing through the greatest joys in the world, or when you're suffering the worst period of your life, then you're living in consonance with your Swadharma. You're living a balanced uh, life of meaning.
हमारी शास्त्रास और आपका जो भक्ति का मार्ग है, प्रभु की भक्ति है, वो क्या कहती है अबाउट हैंडलिंग ड्यूअलिटीज ऑफ लाइफ? ग्रीफ इज अ रियलिटी ऑफ लाइफ, देयर आर ड्यूअलिटीज ऑफ लाइफ। जी,
Um, ये तो देखिए हमारे शास्त्रों में लिखा हुआ है कई जगहों पे कि इफ यू कैन बी डिटैच्ड and if you can be a witness to what happens to you, uh, that doesn't mean that you are cut off from life. It doesn't mean that you are uh, living a life that is without any sense of feeling. But if you can remain balanced, then you will find that you can handle many of the things that life throws at you, and you will be much more productive. If you see what Ramayana is, for example, and Lord Ram's character, in the parts of his life when he passed through the most joys, or in the past when he suffered so much, he was still stable and calm all through. Uh, प्रभु श्री राम और रावण में बहुत फर्क है, लेकिन एक सबसे महत्वपूर्ण फर्क मेरे हिसाब से शायद ये है कि आप देखेंगे रावण ऑल्सो सफर्ड, लॉर्ड राम ऑल्सो सफर्ड, लेकिन लॉर्ड राम्स रिएक्शन टू हिज सफरिंग वॉज द मोर ही वुड सफर, द मोर सेंटर्ड, काम एंड नोबल ही वुड बी. Whereas Ravan's reaction to his suffering was the more he would suffer, the more angry he would become, the more it would be like दुनिया ने मुझे दुख दिया है, मैं पूरी दुनिया को जला दूंगा. That is counterproductive. ये क्योंकि आप दुनिया में और दुख फैलाते हैं. दूसरी बात, वैसे ही उतना दुख है, आप और क्यों फैला रहे हैं? दूसरी बात, आपकी आत्मा भी भटक सकती है. यू आर स्पॉइलिंग योर जर्नी ऑफ दिस लाइफ. If you can find that sense of balance, which is what actually, if you see Lord Shiva's sense of detachment, डिटैचमेंट का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप अपने अपने जो दायित्व हैं उसे ना निभाएं. Lord Shiva is with his wife all the time, is a good father to his two sons, but he's also a Vairagi. He's detached from the world. He's the original yogi, the original source of meditation. So he shows that you can be detached and follow your responsibilities at the same time, and you'll probably do your responsibilities much better, because you have to experience what you have to experience. It's not that Lord Shiva did not experience grief when he didn't, but ultimately you have to experience that grief and then let it go. So it doesn't mean that, uh, and I'm saying again, it's that the key thing is in balance. It doesn't mean that you don't experience the joys and the grief, but then don't surrender to it. Don't drown in it. Because if you do that, then you'll not be able to handle what life throws at you. And you'll find, Senaji, there are so many people who can't. It's not just about joys and griefs. It's also about success and failure. You'll find so many people who are these one-hit wonders. People keep saying कि भाई failure is dangerous for you because it demotivates you, it cows you down. I believe success can be even more dangerous. You find so many people who are these one-hit wonders कि success मिलती है और इतना घमंड आ जाता है, feels pride in their mind, they destroy their own lives. That success is often, a curse to them. And again, this comes from a sense of attachment. If you can be detached from it, कि success मिला, failure भी मिले, both of them are part of life. Keep doing what you have to do, which is your swadharma. Otherwise, your talents can at times become a curse. Like for Ravan, his talents were a curse for him. Uh, if if you don't have the character to handle talents, and the Almighty has blessed you with those talents, then often you'll find so many people who are successful, like successful artists, successful sports person. आपको दिखता है कि वो खुश नहीं है. Uh, खुश की बात छोड़िए, उन पीसफुल नहीं है. They're not. Whereas some people, like look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni, for example, always seems calm, stable. It's not कि उसके ज़िंदगी में उतार नहीं आए. उतार चढ़ाव तो हर किसी की ज़िंदगी में आते हैं. So I'm saying that sense of balance and ati sarvatra varjayit, that extremism of any kind should be avoided. If there's one of the philosophies that really appeals to me from our ancestors, it is this line, ati sarvatra varjayit. Extremism of any kind should be avoided. Try and keep yourself balanced as much as you can. Life will be better lived. I'm not saying it is easy to do. It's very difficult to do. Uh, I have passed through difficult personal phase. There were times when I was really uh, I would look up and almost scream कि प्रभु अब बस करिए और सहन नहीं होता है. But there's a part of life you have to learn to handle what there is to handle and then move on, because it's paralysis which actually destroys your life, not experiencing things. Paralysis comes when you can't handle it, when you're drowned by it.
When did it begin with you, Amish? Your sense of balance. You've been in finance. You've been like a normal professional, and of course, in a profession like finance. When did this sense of balance start coming in? Did you grow with it? Can I ask, Saina?
Of course.
जी of course जी.
When did it begin with you? When did you realize you moving towards it? Or did you go into a Vipassana meditation program which taught you to be a self-witness, to distance yourself and yet be part of the activity? When do you think it started to come and how did you nurture it? This is what people are very, very keen to know.
Kiranji, it's with the books basically, which is why for me the books are so critical for me, because the books they didn't change my world. Actually, they changed me, which is a much greater blessing. uh, I was before I started writing, I was a very typical, what you'd call an MBA type. I was very hyper competitive in school and college. I was hyper competitive in everything, so I was active in sports, gymnastics, boxing. Used to do creative things also. I was the lead singer of a band in IIM Calcutta. Did an MBA from IIM Calcutta. Was in banking for 14 years. Hyper aggressive, hyper competitive. You know how we MBA types are. Always insecure. So large part of many of the things that I wanted to do in academics and everything was always trying to prove I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, and never being happy with it. So even if I became a head of marketing at a very young age, I was like, why didn't I become earlier? Whatever bonus I got, it would always be no, not good enough. I deserve more, right? In my last job as a member of the senior management committee, I used to report to the CEO. I was among the youngest ever in the entire MNC group, which had become a member of the SMC. But my thing was still, I should have made it a lot earlier. They didn't recognize me. I used to shout and scream a lot. I was hyper uh, aggressive. And the books slowly kind of changed me. The books helped me return to things that I had learned in my childhood. My grandfather was a pandit. Both my parents are very religious. My grandmother on my mother's side was a teacher. So I learned a lot from the family, but I went through this. I became an atheist in my, college days. Remained an atheist for many years, and slowly came back to faith with the writing of my books. So in a way, the books actually helped me rediscover things that I'd learned in my childhood. And Kiranji, I'm still very competitive. I work very hard. I like whatever I'm doing, I like to do well. So you should be competitive. But I notice my buttons are not that easily pressed. I work very hard, but अगर कुछ नहीं चले तो ठीक है. It's okay. I'm much calmer about you know that one has to try your best to achieve. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. It's not the end of life. You'll try once again, right? So the failure doesn't impact me so much. And I notice even success, if one achieves something, I immediately start thinking, ठीक है अभी आगे क्या करना है. I notice that I don't shout and scream as much as I used to. I still, there are times, Kiranji, when balance does not mean that one should be weak. I'm saying once again, and often we have, especially in the last century, century and a half, Indians, we have made this mistake. We think that pacifism means कि कि कोई तुम्हें मारता है तो दूसरा गाल दिखाओ. नहीं, ये हमारा तरीका नहीं. हमारा तरीका है कि हम पहला वार नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन आप झापड़ मारेंगे तो हम मुक्का मारेंगे वापस. ओके, सो इट डजंट मीन कि वी शुड बिकम डोरमैट्स. वी हैव टू compete, but with a sense of calmness, like how the samurais are, who can fight, but again with a sense of calmness because they're doing their duty. I noticed that my books brought this change in me. And Kiranji, the funny thing is, we assume that you have to be aggressive and pushy to get things done. No, in fact, you can get a lot more done. If you're not aggressive and pushy, if you speak politely, just a simple thing of speaking politely to people. जैसे हमारे नाट्य शास्त्र में लिखा गया है, सत्यम ब्रुवात प्रियम ब्रुवात ना ब्रुवात सत्यम अप्रियम. Speak the truth, but speak it with love. If you can't speak it with love, then don't speak it. It doesn't say speak the untruth. It doesn't say you should be a coward. Must speak the truth, but speak it with love. Among the things I've learned, Kiranji, is if you can be calm, you'll naturally be polite. And naturally, at least I have come to see, vast majority of human beings actually want to be decent. Give them the opportunity to be decent. And if you're polite with them, they will help you. आपका काम हो जाएगा. There are 1-2% cases where you have to be tough. In those cases, you must be tough. Where you have to fight, you must fight. मतलब, we believe in, Lord Mahavir and Gautam Buddha, but we also believe in Lord Shiva and Lord Ram. जब दंड का समय आता है तो दंड देना चाहिए. But 99% of the time, vinamrata, politeness, and if you can make yourself, that's what my books did for me. It kind of helped me realize and just calm down. And I think why the books did this is because for the first time in my life, I was doing something where I was genuinely didn't care कि ये success होगा या failure होगा. I genuinely didn't care. Actually, perhaps didn't care is the wrong term. I was detached. My first book, Kiranji, Immortals of Melua, was rejected by every publisher it was sent to. I finally self-published the book. Took off in the first week itself. Then many of the publishers who rejected it came back to bid for it. I wasn't demotivated when it was being rejected. I didn't get into this thing of, when publishers came back to it, trying to rub their nose in it, कि भाई तुमने ना क्या था अभी, या क्या. I didn't feel the need for it. Because actually, in some ways, I was loving writing so much. I was genuinely detached from success or failure because I wasn't working for success. I was working because I genuinely loved it. And that to me is the key. जो कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन, जो भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने जो हमें जो कहा है कि focus on your karma, not the fruits of your karma. Often we mistake it to mean that success or failure shouldn't matter. And that you should be a fatalist कि सब किस्मत पे छोड़ दो. That's not what you're saying. He's saying if you find something that you enjoy doing so much, genuinely are detached from success or failure because you're doing that karma because you love it. You love doing it, not because you're trying to find success or trying to avoid failure. Then you're unstoppable because you're just doing something that you love. And then naturally that calmness comes, that peace comes. That's what my books did for me. And that's what I pray for everyone, that find what your swadharma is. Find what really gives you joy in just doing that, regardless of success, failure. Then do that, you'll find that calm and peace just comes.
आपकी आपके दिल के बारे में बात करनी है, लेकिन उससे पहले, do you still munch on your favorite pineapple biscuits while writing? Do you still do that?
You've done your research. Yes, yes. I eat a lot of biscuits while writing, and most of my readers know that. So, in fact, कई बार मुझे लिटफेस या इसमें many of my readers come with cream biscuits, जो मुझे बचपन में मिलता था, that orange cream and bourbon and Jim Jam and pineapple cream and all that. So many come with those gifts कि ये लो और जल्दी लिखो.
So that's the way to make you write. Send you a lot of biscuits. लेकिन आपकी अब दिल की बात करते हैं,
जी.
क्योंकि आपका दिल जिन्होंने संभाला हुआ है
हम्म,
वो महाकाल है.
हम्म,
उन्होंने आपको पूरा का पूरा संभाल लिया
हम्म.
और आपने उस आशीर्वाद को बहुत दिलो जान से संभाला हुआ है. My greatest prayer for you is वही आपको माँ, हरी माँ आपको शक्ति दें कि आप उस आशीर्वाद को आजीवन, पूर्ण जीवन संभाल लें. आइए आपको आपका दिल दिखाते हैं, योर हार्ट स्पेस. अंतर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योति प्रत्यक् ज्योति परात्पर ज्योति ज्योति स्वयं ज्योति आत्मज्योति शिवोऽस्म्यहम्.
Sarah ji, there's a lovely stotram which Adi Shankaracharya ji had written called Atma Shatakam, a prayer on Lord Shiva. All of us have heard it, Shivoham, Shivoham, that word. And that always connects me to Lord Shiva. मैं जब भी वो सुनता हूँ, it brings tears to my eyes, because you know what that prayer says, that I am not my body, I am not my soul, I am not the karta, I am not the karma, I'm none of these. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. And
Shivoham. Shivoham.
that truly is, I mean, there's, with all respect to all gods and goddesses, but yeah, Lord Shiva, I guess, excites that devotion and passion in his followers.
When did you experience him? Amish, I'm sure there's been a trigger, there's been an experience, somewhere it's triggered. What happened?
In many ways, Kiranji, I think one just grew up with it. We are a Shaivite family, essentially. So, lekin, in our way, of course, even if you are a Shaivite, you worship all, all gods and goddesses. But I think perhaps it reached, and like I said, I went through an atheism phase, and then when it came back and I started writing Immortals of Melua, my first book, it's also that for those of us who are perhaps slightly rebellious, slightly anti-elitist, as I am, Lord Shiva appears as a natural god who really attracts us, because he really is in many ways the god of contradictions, right? Because he's such a lovely husband and father, but he's also a vairagi. He's Sundareshwar. The elite also loves him, but we all know the Shivji ki Barat ki anyone can join, no differentiation. You know, he his followers you'll find like Kannan in Tamil Nadu to the Shivling, and he was he was a great saint, but he was a hunter before he became a saint, Kannanji, and then he would give bring his hunt, the meat of his hunt, and offer that as prasad. Then many would think, what is he doing? But Lord Shiva just saw the devotion in the heart of Kannan and didn't used to accept it. It shows that how in many ways inclusive he is, and for those of us, I guess, who appreciate a godly figure like this, he genuinely attracts us. And I'd written this article once that in many ways what he does, he attracts us from a particular side and then balances us. So those of us who are anti-elitist, and think that the elite is wrong all the time, will get attracted to Lord Shiva because Shivji ki Barat. But then we learn from him that there's a value to what the intellectuals bring as well, what the elite brings as well, because Lord Shiva is the originator of the Vedas as well, right? For those of us who think they should differentiate between devas and asuras, we'll find Lord Shiva blesses both, and we'll get a sense of balance. Lord Shiva essentially attracts us from different sides and then balances us. Uh, I think that perhaps is his most attractive quality.
How did he enter you? He has entered you. Your writing is his writings.
Hmm.
His writings are your writings are his writings. When did he enter you? You have
Uh,
experienced the spark.
I experience him, Kiranji, every time I write, and I've said this very often. I still don't understand where my books come from, and because before Immortals of Melua, I had written absolutely nothing, no fiction in my life ever. And you can imagine if the first piece of fiction a man ever writes is a long 500-page book.
Yes,
First, I've written no story, nothing, nothing.
yes, that's true.
And that 500-page book becomes a bestseller also. There's no logic to it. My school and college friends have said this often. They still ask me, "Sach bata, actually किसने लिखा है?"
Ah,
And when I write all these books, even till now, even with War of Lanka, I kind of open the laptop and there's a parallel universe, and I can actually see it. Uh, and then I record what I see. And you can't imagine how special it was when I was writing the Shiva trilogy, and I could see him. Uh, and I record what I see. Which is why I enjoy writing so much. It's a bit like I don't know why I've received this blessing. There are many far better than me, uh, but I've been lucky, I guess, and I honor this blessing. Uh,
that's why Deepak Chopra said he unfolds the deepest recesses of the soul. That's why Deepak Chopra said this for you.
thank you.
Because it is in your soul. He's residing in your soul, and you are actually expressing it. You are expressing him
Mhm.
in many, many images, in many, many visualizations, in many stories.
Thank you.
Actually, this is exactly what the world is wanting to know. Where did it come from? And you are, thank you so much for sharing this with all of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
बस आप इस भाव को और इस भक्ति के प्रसाद को संभालते जाइए। बस इस भाव और भक्ति के प्रसाद को खूब संभालिए।
Thank you.
अब आपको आपके बचपने की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, बचपन की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, बचपने की तरफ नहीं, बचपन की तरफ लेके जाते हैं। बचपन की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, जहाँ हम खूब बचपना भी कर सकते थे। जी, अब नहीं। जी, now life is, we've all had to apply all the wisdom we've gained to our day-to-day life. I think that's what we've had to do. एक छोटा सा क्लिप दिखाते हैं
जी.
और बातचीत करेंगे।
Hi, Amish. It's such a pleasure to be on this show. Good evening, Dr. Bedi, and good evening, the entire Baatcheet team. I'm Neena Dandekar, and I'm Amish's teacher from Cathedral School. I taught him in the mid-80s when he was in his teens. And I remember Amish extremely vividly. Extremely attentive in class, cherubic face, neat and tidy, work well presented, and excelled in his work. Always a distinction student. And we had a special bond because I taught him geography and he loved geography and excelled in it. Amish was very good at gymnastics, I remember. He took part in many extracurriculars. He was good at he was a good gymnast. But I think his love was boxing. Ashish, his brother, I taught him as well, his twin, was also a boxer, but they had different styles. One was perhaps Mike Tyson, and the other was Cassius Clay, or Muhammad Ali as they call him. One particular incident that is absolutely etched in my mind is there was going to be a boxing competition at school, and both Amish and Ashish were in the same weight category. Amish didn't want to fight his brother, so he determinedly lost weight. And at 13 or 14, to lose weight in such a determined manner is not an easy thing. So you can imagine the grit and determination he then had, and perhaps even still has. I taught Amish and Ashish, as I told you, but I taught all his siblings. And there's been one common trait between all of them. All are cerebral, and all abound in one quality, and that is humility, vinamrata, as I would call it. And that's such a wonderful quality, and it speaks so much about their upbringing. I want to take this opportunity to wish you, Amish, the very best. May you scale very great heights. Lots and lots of love to your son, and may God bless you. Thank you.
How sweet. I'm seeing Mrs. Dandekar after decades, and she was a wonderful geography teacher, and really loved her, and I love the subject. I love geography a lot, and she used to make it so easy to understand. And that incident that she was speaking about, Ashish and I, basically our entire upbringing was that the four of us will never fight each other, no matter what. And अगर कभी लड़ाई होती थी, my mother used to be very strict कि तुम लोग दुनिया से लड़ सकते हो, लेकिन एक दूसरे से नहीं लड़ सकते. So if any of us fought each other, we would have to stand next to each other and keep kissing each other on the cheek. Yeah, at least some 300 times. And we would get so puck out by it, we said, okay, we are not going to fight. And so it was almost like a rule that the four of us, we will not fight each other. So there were times when I would lose weight if Ashish and I were in the same weight category, and there were times Ashish would gain weight. Because we would never fight each other. That we were very clear on. We are never going to fight each other.
And you're twins. You're twins.
We are twins. He's 12 minutes elder. And Ashish was like a technically correct boxer. So what ma'am was saying, what Ms. Dandekar was saying, like Muhammad Ali. So Ashish used to, dodge this thing very well. I was just a hard hitter. I had a relatively strong torso for my weight. So I used to just hit very hard, and I used to be very aggressive. Ashish was like a delight to see. He would, dodge, jab. Like, he was a technically correct boxer.
अच्छा, अभी सब आए हैं अभी सब मिलेंगे आपको. माँ जी को प्लीज रिक्वेस्ट करिए आए, और सब भावना दीदी आए.
Hi Ma. Hi Dada. Hi Bobby. How are you?
Beautiful.
Hi Bhavna Di. Hi Ash.
Hi Bobby. Hello. Namaste Kiranji.
Lovely.
How's everyone?
जय धारी माँ. भावना दीदी आपको प्रणाम. माँ जी आपको प्रणाम. भैया प्रणाम. भाभी प्रणाम. भावना दीदी आप शुरू करें, आप बताएं सबके लिए, फिर माँ जी को रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे पहले कुछ शब्द बोलने के.
Saina, to begin with, thank you so much for this honor to be with you and your mother. You are the sweetest, melodious person that I have known. Thank you so much for this opportunity. बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है. हम सब एक साथ हमारे सितारे के साथ अमीश के साथ क्या बताएं अमीश के बारे में. तीनों भाई मेरी जान है, लेकिन मेरे पति जो थे वो मुझे हमेशा टीज करते थे कि तुम्हारा फेवरेट तो अमीश है। और मैं हमेशा बोलती थी ना ना ना, तीनों भाई मेरी जान है। लेकिन मैं एक बात आज बता दूं, और अमीश तो इसके बाद शायद मुझे कभी माफ नहीं करेगी, लेकिन जब हम बच्चे थे तो मैं 8 साल बड़ी थी उन जुड़वा बच्चों से,
अरे हाँ,
और अनीश और मैं, हम दोनों जैसे सेकंड पेरेंट्स थे इन दो बच्चों के। लेकिन अमीश से मैं पता नहीं थोड़ी ऑब्सेस्ड ही रहती थी। तो एक हमारी मेरी दादागिरी थी कि जहां अमीश दिखे मैं बोलती थी इधर आओ इधर आओ इधर आओ, और बेचारा आ जाता था क्योंकि दीदी थी। और फिर मैं उसको बोलती थी चलो यहाँ खड़े हो जाओ, और जब तक मैं बोलूं कि बंद करो तब तक तुम्हें यहाँ खड़े होके बोलना है टिंग 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 टिंग, और यहाँ खड़े रहोगे, और जब मैं बोलूंगी ठीक है हो गया तो तुम्हें मुझे किस करना है। तो बेचारा जरा सा खड़ा रहता था और इरिटेशन के साथ टिंग 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 टिंग, दीदी हो गया नहीं हुआ, टिंग 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 टिंग, ठीक है अभी हो गया, देन ही वुड किस मी। परेशान किया है उसने।
यही प्यार हमारी पूंजी है। दिस इज आवर ट्रेजर, दिस इज आवर ट्रेजर, और ये रोज और भरे, ये ट्रेजर।
This is the title. Amish, a title for another book. This title for another book of yours. The Ting 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 Ting. The family. The story of the family.
Correct. No, and Kiranji, this is among the things that's actually perhaps going out of fashion these days. The importance of strong family, and this, Ma and Papa, the way they, and it's about basically the culture. The children, if they grow up in that culture, they just see it and they, and they grow with it. And often it is, you know. And Ma would insist on all these things, and Dad would keep having these philosophical discussions with us. And the entire thing they used to say is actually children don't do what you tell them to do; they do what they see their parents doing. So if the parents insist that the family has to be united, children will naturally become that way. And then वो बचपन में ऐसा हो गया, then it just ends up growing that way. And then of course uh, the in-laws that come also, as Himanshuda used to say, the outlaws, they also come into that same. And Meeta Bhavi is Anishda's wife, and they also then just come into the same atmosphere. And Kiranji, this gives so much strength. If your family is strong, then दुनिया जो भी फेंकती है, you're able to handle it. Because I'm living in the West in London right now. So many, uh, they think that psychologists and shrinks can help you through life. No, I mean, it's your family which will help you through life. Because they're the only ones who will be there for you no matter what. They're the only ones who will tell you truths that you need to hear. And when they tell you, you know that there's no agenda. They're telling you genuinely what they think. That actually gives so much strength. स्ट्रॉन्ग फैमिली बॉन्ड्स, एंड ये सब ये माँ और पापा का आशीर्वाद है.
माँ
Your
जी,
mom.
आप कुछ कहेंगे? और ये इतनी प्यारी सी किताब लिखी है भावना दीदी ने और अमीश जी ने जी एक साथ.
हाँ, ये धर्मा दीदी और मैंने एक साथ लिखी है
जी.
भावना दीदी और मैंने. इनफैक्ट पूरा श्रेय उनको जाना चाहिए, मैंने तो बस थोड़ा सा काम किया उसके ऊपर.
That's not true.
सॉरी माँ, आप कुछ कह रही थी.
जी, आपको कैसा लग रहा है? जी.
नो मम्मी से पूछना है ये सेरेब्रल और ह्यूमिलिटी कहाँ से आई. माँ बताओ, आपने अमीश को ये सेरेब्रल और ह्यूमिलिटी और अनीश को और अपने बच्चों को कैसे दी? सेरेब्रल और ह्यूमिलिटी, ये दिल की बात भी है, दिमाग की बात भी है?
बेटा, हर माँ चाहती है अपने बच्चे को बेस्ट बनाना, और होता वो है जो ऊपर वाला चाहता है, और हमें ईश्वर की कृपा थी कि अच्छे से हुआ. और मेरी नजर में तो यही बहुत बड़ा कॉम्प्लीमेंट है कि आज किरण बेदी अमीश से बात कर देंगे, क्योंकि मैंने इतना सोचा नहीं था, लेकिन ठीक है, भगवान की कृपा है और अमीश का प्रयत्न है, बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, और मुझे गर्व है।
नहीं, आपने कैसे ग्रूम किया बच्चे को? आई थिंक देयर बी अ लॉट ऑफ टेकअवेज फॉर अ मदर एंड अ पेरेंट. आपने ग्रूमिंग की, खास ग्रूमिंग का कुछ आपको सीक्रेट बताएंगे?
एक्चुअली मैंने बच्चों को कभी कुछ भी करने के लिए मना नहीं किया, बस ये बताते थे कि जरूर करो जो तुम चाहते हो, पर उसके रिपरकशंस ये होंगे, फिर तुम सोच लो तुमको क्या करना है।
किरण जी, if I may, with your permission, एक इंसिडेंट बताना चाहूँगा, जो वैल्यूज जो हम बच्चों में इंस्टिल हो गई हैं, उसका कारण क्या था। एक बार कुछ हुआ था, कोई रिलेटिव आए थे और मेरे साथ इंसिडेंट हुआ था। मैंने शायद किसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में झूठ बोला, तो मम्मी बहुत नाराज हुई मेरे ऊपर और मैंने उनको झूठ बोला, तो बहुत नाराज हुई मेरे ऊपर और उन्होंने कहा कि 1000 बार मैंने बोला है, कान पकड़ो और स्वेयर करो कि तुम अपने परिवार में किसी के साथ कभी भी झूठ नहीं बोलो। तो जो रिलेटिव था बहुत सरप्राइज हो गया, उसने बोला कि आपने ये क्यों बोला कि परिवार में, अच्छी से परिवार मतलब फादर मदर दीदी और तुम्हारे जो दो भाई हैं, इनके साथ कभी भी झूठ नहीं बोलो। तो द रिलेटिव वाज वेरी सरप्राइज, जैसे कि आप ऐसा क्यों बोल रही हैं, आपको ये बोलना चाहिए, झूठ कभी नहीं बोलना चाहिए। तो मम्मी टर्न अराउंड एंड टोल्ड द पर्सन कि मैं ऐसी चीज कभी नहीं बोल सकती हूँ जो इम्पॉसिबल है। कभी समय आता है जब तुमको झूठ बोलना पड़ेगा, जैसे कृष्ण जी ने बोला था अश्वत्थामा के बारे में द्रोणाचार्य को। तो उन्होंने बोला कि कभी अगर तुमको झूठ बोलना पड़े बाहर तो वो ठीक है, मगर परिवार के अंदर स्वेयर करो कि तुम कभी झूठ नहीं बोलोगे। So it's just a small example of how values just got deeply instilled, and I must have been 6 years old, 7 years old.
And it stays with you.
या किरण जी, और एक और चीज था, ये माँ ने ये किया था, माँ और पापा हरदम बचपन में, कि when we were younger than 5, their entire thing was the first 5-6 years your basic sense of security insecurity will get built. तो उनका ये था कि पहले 5-6 साल में प्यार में मतलब पूरा डिबो दो बच्चे को, कि the father or the mother is around all the time, so there's never any sense of insecurity. Then after 5 she suddenly became very strict, and for all of us, एंड ये होता था, मतलब सो स्ट्रिक्ट किरण जी, आप मानेंगे नहीं, टिल 15-16। एक बार दीदी और मैंने बहुत ये बखेड़ा खड़ा कर दिया था डाइनिंग टेबल पे कि हम करेले की सब्जी नहीं खाएंगे, एंड माँ का ये था, टेबल पे जो भी है तुम चुपचाप खाओगे। दीदी और मैंने बहुत ये, वी डिड अ लॉट ऑफ, एंड वी पुश द प्लेट अवे ऑल्सो। माँ इतनी गुस्सा हो गई कि एक हफ्ते के लिए लंच एंड डिनर स्पेसिफिकली करेले की सब्जी यूज्ड टू बी मेड फॉर दीदी एंड मी। ओके, एंड द एंटायर थिंग वाज, देखो तुम्हें खाना है तो ये खाना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो भूखे रहना है भूखे रहो, तुम्हारी मर्जी। ओके, उसके बाद हमने कभी, एंड इट बेसिकली सेट्स डिसिप्लिन। देन आफ्टर 15-16 शी बेसिकली जस्ट बिकेम अ फ्रेंड। शी सेड कि अभी जो होना था हो गया है, नाउ इफ आई एम अ फ्रेंड यू विल नॉट कीप एनी सीक्रेट्स फ्रॉम मी, and then I can advise you. So
Superb.
this was her thing. So at a very young age, basically just drowned with love, so no insecurity, and then strict discipline till 15-16. Then after that, we could talk to her about anything, And this, I thought it's a very good way she brought us up.
और ह्यूमिलिटी कैसे आई?
Uh,
माँ
वो
जी,
I think
माँ जी, विनम्रता विनम्रता
नम्रता
विनम्रता
कैसे
विनम्रता तो क्या है, अगर माँ और पिता विनम्र है और कहते हैं कि बेटे तुम लोगों को भी विनम्र होना चाहिए। एक्चुअली तुम्हें दुनिया में अगर सबको पाना है तो मीठा बोलना तो आना चाहिए ना। आम जितना झुकता है उतने ही फल आते हैं, ताड़ जितना सीधा जाता है उतने फल नहीं आते।
एक्चुअली वेरी राइट किरण जी, क्योंकि बच्चे शायद माँ बाप को देख के we keep doing, right? Because if ma and father are this way, we'll end up behaving that way.
जी जी
That's what your books are all about, the interplay of thought and play. You're all about thought and action. It's an interplay of thought and action. Exactly thoughts being given and action being taken. And you've done. Your books are also exactly all about thought and action interplay.
Thank you.
Brilliant. See, now we've got the secret how your books are grounded in your actually upbringing and in your grooming. Saina?
जी आशीष भैया, आप कुछ बोलेंगे? Anything that you can
Thank you.
recall, remember?
Thank you, Saina. Thank you, Dr. Devi. Such a pleasure to see you. If you know, I've known Amish since he was 1 cell, right? And perhaps his oldest fan. But what will fascinate you about Amish? And it's something that people adore. Is he reads uh, like a maniac, right? And he retains it, and the way he draws his connections and explains things, it's just so fascinating. I mean, I'm the one who studied economics, but I remember when the global currency crisis was happening, right? And Amish just said, "Listen, I think I've figured this out." Because in the early days, people were just trying to figure out what had happened, right? And you just sit down with Amish, and he'll just explain the most complicated things in such a simple and relatable way. I'm just lucky to have a brother like this. And the other thing that I will actually just add, to your previous question of mummy, I think what all four of us actually went to a boarding school, right? And something that our parents insisted with us was they drilled in that you guys will take care of each other, and the reason you are going to these schools is not because we want you guys to be exposed to the best systems, but because we were constantly actually looking out for each other. I think that's a wonderful feeling to have. That anyone who's had a close family bond will understand that if you can mentally just always relate to the fact that someone is looking out for your back. It's a very empowering thought, and this is something that only that I think parents instill, right? And at least amongst all of us, any crisis, right? We may argue passionately on any topic, but any crisis, all four of us. I mean, it's one thing that we know that we'll have. There are people that will be looking after my interests, and the reality is that we've even married into family members that are very very close. So that is something that I think we cherish, and yeah. So in that sense, we're very lucky to have had parents that we did.
जी
Very fortunate.
जी जी
Very
नीता
blessed.
भाभी, जी नीता भाभी, आप बोलेंगे कुछ?
Amish is the youngest, and he's the apple of my eye. And I really that's Amish.
Can I say one thing? ये मुझे I'm not very fussy about food. मुझे कुछ भी चलता है, बट मुझे हरदम दाल, मतलब जब भी even if there's egg fried rice, मुझे उसके साथ भी दाल चाहिए. And I never realized it, because whenever I would go to Meena Bhabhi's house, there was always dal. I discovered only recently, so no matter if I was coming, no matter what was being made, she'd always have some dal prepared, for me. So even if it's biryani, even if it's pasta, whatever is there, there'll always be some little dal. If the key point isn't about the dal, and the key point is that she thinks about me. And like I said, it's not, I mean, we are individuals, of course there'll be things we will debate on, argue on, but if that foundation of that we completely trust each other, we know that love is there. uh, this is it's one of those things that is a part of the Indian way that we must cherish. And I'm telling you, Kiranji, I feel it so much more when I come to the UK. In the West, over the last few decades, they have destroyed their communities and their families, and you can see it. समाज उनका बिखर रहा है, and it's not good for the long term. And if you want a strong family bond, yeah, there are some things you give up for that, yes, but it is the benefits are so much better. I can tell you, as someone who's live, and we've lived through tough times, but because all of us are together, a large part of it is doing small things for each other, remembering things for each other. This is what actually keeps the bond alive. It's a small thing that matter a lot more.
And you're fortunately in a place where seeing a stark comparison already, isn't it?
Kiranji,
You're
I
seeing
can
a
tell you,
stark comparison. Yeah.
I've gone to houses. There are Indian families out here. The way I see at times, there are some where the bonds are very strong, but in some places, in Western families, I'm seeing the way children are talking to their parents. Matlab, I won't talk that way, and I'm 48 years old. You know, uh, and it's not good for the society long run. If those bonds aren't there, and part of those bonds mean that you surrender some of your individualism, but
That's
it is a worthy trade-off. It is certainly a worthy trade-off.
आप सबकी आज्ञा से 5-7 मिनट ये बातचीत को थोड़ा आगे करेंगे, क्योंकि हमारे साथ एक और बहुत आपके आपके जो बहुत काम के करीब हैं वो ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं हापर कॉलिंस से।
Okay. Oh,
और
okay.
चर्चा को जारी रखेंगे फिर, बिकॉज
Okay.
वांट टू हियर मोर फ्रॉम Aji एंड भावना दी
Sure,
एंड
sure.
प्रिया एंड सावी जी। स्वाति जी एग्जीक्यूटिव एडिटर हैं हापर कॉलिंस के।
अरे hi Swati, how are you?
Hi, Amish.
स्वाति,
Such a pleasure to be. I mean, I've been here listening to this wonderful conversation. I'm so grateful to Dr. Didi and all of you too for having me, because Amish, this is giving me a part of your life that we haven't been privy to. We've talked about the book, we've talked about the edits, the process, but this side of Amish and the bond that he shares with his family is just such a pleasure to listen to it. We don't get a chance to hear this. So thank you so much.
Swati, very welcome. Swati, you want to share the
Thank
vision ahead? You want to share the vision ahead? HarperCollins
Yes,
has
of course,
with
of course.
all the wonderful writings of Amish ji.
Yes, of course. I mean, I think Amish ke saath kaam karke, I got to know a lot about his process. I remember the first time, we started working with him. He had told Amish, if you remember the first meeting we had with you in the office, you were like, मैं 7 दिन काम करता हूँ, and I expect my team to work 7 days a week. And I remember thinking that time, but 7 days a week, हम करेंगे क्या? What will be the? And then I realized you have such an eye for detail that like I would do these minor एकदम एक word इधर एक word उधर. Every word was important for me. I think that was such a great thing to see, while working on the book. You don't see it from authors that much, where every single thing that he writes is that important to him. कि हम सारे मतलब एक पेज हम देख के कर रहे थे, एक line, एक setting, everything. It was very impressive. I mean, I learned a lot from Amish actually while working with him. And about the vision ahead, I think हम इसके बारे में हर समय बात करते हैं actually. Amish and the whole team, we have this calendar prepared for Amish कि हर साल हम what we are looking at, the next book and the next book. I mean, already all the process is on. We are looking at अब हम next January में क्या करेंगे, हम April में क्या करेंगे. So I think we think ahead. We are trying to make sure that Amish's fans are constantly given something new, something fun, something interesting from him. So ये तो long term process है, अभी चलेगा. I know War of Lanka has been such a big book and such a long journey that the next book has to be just that much bigger, that much exciting. So वो तो अब like we are on the road ahead with Amish. I think it's so great to have him with HarperCollins. It's just of course it's great to have an author like him with us, because he's the biggest selling author right now in the country. And along with that, I think just the learning process for HarperCollins also has been a great part of the process. I mean, for me, myself as an editor, but also for the rest of the team, Amish ki marketing, publicity, book tours, all of it has been a learning process. So it's just been a great ride with him.
Yeah, we hope and pray you keep walking hand in hand, because the publisher also has to put in that kind of prayer and
Of course.
belief. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Because
I
his
mean,
work is all blessed. Yes, his work is blessed.
100%.
I'm delighted with the work that HarperCollins is doing. They've really done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And War of Lanka is selling even faster than Ravan. And, and I was a little nervous before the launch because pandemic say, the book trade had been impacted.
Yeah.
But the numbers we're hitting is fantastic. And we're going to launch it in the UK also soon.
Yes.
HarperCollins UK will be launching it in, I think, in March. So we'll have a proper book tour in UK also.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
will continue to hear about the recognitions you're going to get, Amish. You are bringing laurels to the country as an author from India.
Thank you.
And the publisher would go along with you. But you will. You are heading for lots of international recognitions, one by one. It will do us proud, in Indian proud,
Thank you.
and India proud.
Thank you.
We've
Thank you so
the screen, Maji, and have they left the screen? We wanted to get the final. Ji. So Swati, you're ready for 7 days a week now? Swati?
Your mic on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, shuru mein thoda, I remember thinking, but it might be a very difficult process, but actually it was so smooth. 7 days to pata hi nahi chala. I mean, Amish, it was just excellent. Yeah.
No, you better keep doing it. We want recognitions also 7 days a week. All year round, year to year. Keep bringing it. Because it's a combination of the author and the publisher and the editor. It's a remarkable team. Writing and then publishing and then marketing and then putting it in the hands of the reader. See, I've got all my books here. See this? And more. These are only few, because otherwise we have gone up this far. Maybe we can all say with a prayer for Amish and his family, that they continue to soar, continue to grow, and we remain blessed by Lord Shiva.
माँ जी से कुछ और पूछना चाह रहे थे, बट इतना जरूर बोलूंगी कि वो ज्ञान का भंडार है. और
I'll just check, have they left actually?
Have they left or is it एक बार ही देख लें जी. एक बार ही देख लें, have they left or are they?
I guess कुछ इंटरनेट का कुछ हो गया.
हाँ.
They were all in the same house, I think, from what I could make out.
Swati, so all the best wishes to you and HarperCollins.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Best wishes, Swati.
Thanks, Swati. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bedi. Thank you.
All the best.
Swati, thank you for coming.
जी.
Thank you.
माँ जी, जैसे मैं कह रही थी, वो पूर्ण रूप से ज्ञान का भंडार है. आई थिंक उन्होंने अमीश जी को बहुत इंस्टिल करा है बच्चों में द पावर ऑफ कर्मा, द पावर ऑफ माइंडफुल कर्मा, बहुत इंस्टिल करा है. भावना दीदी से मिलकर बहुत खुशी हुई. उन्होंने ये किताब लिखी है अमीश जी के साथ. जी, उन्होंने लिखी है, उनकी बड़ी बहन है, और आप उनके भाइयों से मिले. परिवार को पूर्ण तरीके से धारी माँ का, प्रभु का, धारेश्वर महादेव का, महाकाल का आशीर्वाद मिला रहे, क्योंकि वो आशीर्वाद इनको जोड़े हुए है, वो डोर बांधे हुए है एक साथ. Amish ji, should we conclude?
We should. I just messaged. I think there's some Wi-Fi problem. सब भावना दीदी के घर पे हैं.
नहीं,
वहाँ पे कुछ Wi-Fi issues हो रहा है.
आप हम उनको अपना प्रणाम देते हैं, और आपके समय के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सायना जी. डॉक्टर किरण जी, in fact my Didi and Dada just messaged. Ma wanted to say once again that she is so happy because she's been a big fan of yours. कि उन्होंने कहा कि भाई अगर डॉक्टर किरण जी आपको इंटरव्यू कर रही हैं, मतलब बेटा यू हैव फाइनली अराइव्ड. Thank you.
We
Thank you
were
so
all hungry to hear from you. Read about you, yes, read you, but know you. So
Thank you.
we've enabled the readers today, your readers, to know you.
They're back. Wi-Fi वापस आ गई.
So maybe
Sorry for that.
Ashish, get back.
Okay, Didi, we were just closing. I just said what Ma said, and I think Ma and Dada, वो भी आ गए. Oh, oh,
Oh, lovely, they're back.
okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. जी, भावना दी, आप कुछ कहेंगे? So we conclude. आप कुछ कहेंगे? Then we'll ask Maji also to say a line before we close the program.
बेटा
जी.
एक और कहानी मेरे दिमाग में आई. We are talking about the bond and the closeness of all four of us. But despite that, ये जुड़वा बच्चों का जो बॉन्ड होता है ना, वो प्राकृतिक होता है. और किस लेवल पे होता है शायद हम हमारे सोच विचार से हम समझ ही नहीं पाएंगे. क्योंकि आई थिंक जब ये दोनों 19 साल के थे तो आशीष को टाइफाइड हो गया था और बुरी तरह का टाइफाइड हुआ था. और हम कैंप्स कॉर्नर में रहते थे और 2 दिन थे जब आशीष ऑलमोस्ट he had lost his conscious control over his words and his expression. और हम सब ड्यूटी पर थे. आशीष को छोड़ते नहीं थे और एक ना एक बैठा रहता था. लेकिन अमीश, मतलब मेरी ड्यूटी लग गई, मैं बैठी हूँ, अनीश की ड्यूटी लग गई, वो बैठा है, लेकिन अमीश हिलेगा नहीं. और उन 2 दिनों में आशीष को क्या चाहता क्या था वो, उसे पानी चाहिए, लाइट बंद चाहिए, फैन ऑन चाहिए. हम कोई समझ नहीं पाते थे, मम्मी नहीं समझ पाती थी, लेकिन अमीश समझ जाता था कि आशीष को क्या चाहिए.
His words would be a little garbled, but I would somehow understand.
जैसे कि इन दोनों में जुड़वा बच्चों में कि भाई बहन माँ बाप नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं, लेकिन ये एक दूसरे को समझ पा रहे हैं.
Kamal. Thank you so much, Bhavna. That only a sister could tell.
And Didi, thank you for the wonderful book. Thank you for the wonderful book. Thank you. माँ जी, आप कुछ कहेंगे? आप कुछ आशीर्वाद के शब्द कहेंगे प्रोग्राम को कंक्लूड करने से पहले? आप सीख देंगे कोई? आप आशीर्वाद के शब्द देंगे?
एक्चुअली किरण, मैं समझ नहीं पा रही मैं क्या कहूँ. मेरे लिए ये अमीश का बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट है कि तुम उसका से बात कर रही हो. और अमीश भगवान को हमें, अमीश का मतलब होता है गिफ्ट गिवन बाय गॉड. अमीश इज गिफ्ट बाय गॉड एंड आई एम हैप्पी दैट ही हैज मेड मी so proud.
And he's a gift to this country. Amish is a gift to the world. He's a gift to humanity.
Thank you.
He's a gift through you. He had to be a gift to this country. Mark my words. He will take us very, very far. Because God is protecting your blessings. Mother's जिसको माँ की blessing मिल जाए उसमें कोई कमी नहीं होती. And Amish has said, भगवान शिव से भी पहले माँ. आपने कहा अमीश. क्या बोले माँ?
जी जी, हम कंक्लूड करते हैं. आप सबको प्रणाम एंड दिल से शुक्रिया.
Cannot ask for more. Cannot ask for more from Amish and entire family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kiran ji. Thank you, Saina ji.
हम आप सबको अब अगले महीने मिलेंगे एक और बातचीत के साथ. हमारी ऑडियंस का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. जाते जाते ये जरूर कहूंगी, let all the learnings, let all the wisdom, let all the knowledge be the fuel for your future. Let that ignite you.
So many messages today.
Bring that complete light in your life. Let that be the fuel for the future.
That's right.
जी.
Can I?
आप सब ठीक.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
जय धारी माँ, जय धारी माँ, जय धारेश्वर महादेव, जय धारी.
Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.